Afternoon, everyone. Today is Tuesday, December 22nd, 2020. The time is 2:02 p.m. Officially calling this meeting to order. Attending are Commissioners Duncan, Brooks, and Filios. Dina, would you please lead us in the pledge?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, then. We'll move on to the consent calendar.
I move that we approve the consent calendar as listed on our business meeting agenda for December 22nd, 2020.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan,
Aye.
Chairman Filios.
Aye, and the motion is carried. Moving on to the payables list.
So I have a question. There's about $3,360 in charges. It's for the CW Wraps and Marketing, starts on page 35. This is to make the final 5 to 10 cars with white doors. So, Bill, did Sheriff Wolfinger approve these?
I haven't.
Haven't talked to anybody?
None.
Okay. So I tried to get a hold of Matos before we got here, and so my concern is that this wasn't approved with the original car budget, and I just wanted to know where it was coming
Why
from.
the white doors?
That's apparently what Sheriff-elect wants, which I don't necessarily have a problem with it. I just need to know where the money's coming from and how many they are going to be changing to white. So I'm not sure how you.
Commissioners, this is Lieutenant Higgins. I could probably answer that.
Yeah, go
Thanks,
ahead.
Lieutenant.
Yeah, so the Sheriff-elect Norris wanted the black and white cars back. So we, on this last group that we got, I think there was 8 cars, we had them put white doors on. The costs for that were going to come out of the patrol vehicle maintenance line item.
Okay, and did Sheriff Wolfinger approve that?
Yes, Sheriff Wolfinger and Under Sheriff Matos all agreed to that
Okay.
change.
Okay. Help me out again, Lieutenant Higgins. These are white doors or section?
Yeah, so they're vinyl covered white. Yeah, vinyl covered white doors is what the change was. On the old cars, on the old black and white, they had a white roof, but we're not going to do the white roof. We're just going to do the doors.
Okay. You okay with that?
Well, kind of weird how it came to us, but, sure. I mean, it's under the $5,000 threshold.
Right, it is.
It's just, since it came when he wasn't in control yet, then I just wanted to make sure that we weren't going to approve something that wasn't agreed upon, so.
So I think we're okay then. Okay. Motion?
I move that we approve the payables for the week of December 14th through 18th, 2020, in the amount of $1,054,565.74.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan,
Aye.
Chairman Filios.
Aye. And the motion is carried. Moving on to, do we have any changes to the agenda?
Yes, 8 has been pulled.
Okay, so item 8 is stricken from the agenda. Okay. So proceeding then with the first of our action items, item number 1, which is a bid opening 2020-09, the wheel loader for solid waste.
And it looks like I have 3 packets. So this one is from Western States Equipment. Okay. So JP, I don't have you here to walk me through it. So you want Western States Equipment, and then what type of equipment and the purchase price?
Yes, that would be correct.
Okay, so the type of equipment, 2021 Caterpillar 938M waste handler, purchase price $238,871.18. Do you need trade-in information?
No, I do not.
Okay. All right, the second one is from, I think it's Pape Machinery. And this is a loader.
Pape?
Pape, loader waste handler.
Yes, Pape.
Okay, and the purchase price is $260,587.25.
Okay.
All right, and the last one is from Pac West Machinery, and it is for a Volvo L90H wheel loader. Purchase price $238,782. And I would recommend that we acknowledge the bids and send them to legal and solid waste for
Review.
review.
Sounds perfect. Thank you.
Got a motion? Oh, yes, she just made a
Oh,
motion.
she made a motion. Oh, then I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan,
Aye.
Chairman Philios.
Aye, and the motion is carried to forward the bids to legal and solid waste. Second bid opening, 2020-10 for certified dozer rebuild for solid waste.
All right, in this case, we received one bid, and this is from Western States Equipment, and it says CAT D8R certified rebuild in the amount of $525,000 even.
Okay.
I recommend that we acknowledge the bids and send them to solid waste and legal for review.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan,
Aye.
Chairman Philios.
Aye, and the motion is carried. So bid number 2020-91 is forwarded to both solid waste and legal for review. Thank you. Okay, item
Sounds
number...
good. Thank you.
You bet. Thanks, JP. Okay, so item number 4 is a public hearing, and it's for Parks and Waterways, and it's to consider the ordinance and increase of fees. So, leading us off here, Nick, did you want to kick us off here?
Yes, good afternoon, Commissioners. Nick Snyder for the record. Yes, Commissioners, every 5 years, Parks and Waterways evaluates our fee schedule and presents any recommendations to the Waterways Advisory Board, who then contemplates it and then will make any recommendations that they have to the county commissioners. In this case, the increases that are memorialized before you in the resolution are the recommendations of the Waterways Advisory Board. Before we get started, Commissioners, I need to draw your attention to the list and make sure there's a distinction between what you're seeing there. Currently, all the fees that are in front of you are existing program fees with a proposed increase. However, there is a new fee and a new program that I want to just draw to your attention. Anything that says the word parking on it would be a new fee. So there is a distinction between some of the fees in that list that do not say parking. So if it says parking, it is a new fee that's being contemplated here today, and all other fees are an increase that you see before you. So I just want to make sure that the board is clear about the distinction between the fees that are before the public today.
Okay, fair enough. Anything else you want to add, Nick?
No, Commissioner. I'm happy to answer any questions the board may have.
Okay, and we also have Chair Terry Warner from the Waterways
Advisory Board.
Yeah.
Terry, would you like to speak? Okay. Since this is a public hearing, is there anyone else who wishes to speak regarding the resolution, the fees in particular? Hearing none, okay.
All right, I move that we end public test. Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry, no, go ahead.
I want to say something. With all the problems that we have had, and I looked at Washington's fees and Idaho, Montana's fees relative to out-of-state people, and I noticed they're about 5 to 10 times higher than in-state people, which obviously they've gotten away with through the legal hurdles and not been called out on it. And I would very much like to see us do that here in Idaho, because you go to a launch site or a parking lot or a park, and you find a lot of Washington tags out there, some California, but I've heard complaint after complaint from citizens of Kootenai County that we can't even use our own parks and waterways. And I, half kidding, said to somebody, we ought to charge $500 for a boat registration for a year. And the people are going, yes, absolutely. And then someone said to me, well, that sounds like you don't want people from Washington over here. And I said, that's correct. That's all I have to say.
Okay.
Is that clear enough?
Yes, very. Okay. Is there a motion to enter into deliberation?
Yes, I move we end public testimony and enter into deliberations.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan,
Aye.
Chairman Philios.
Aye, entering into deliberations. Thoughts? Well, you shared yours.
And I'm gonna vote for these because I think the people on the Waterways Committee and Nick, and they've been carefully considered, but I think we need to do a real paradigm shift as far as what we're doing in this county. I mean, we end up with fees, with services, the deputies and whatnot, that are far and above what it would be if we just had Idaho residents here. That's my gut feeling. I don't have any empirical data to confirm that. But when I see what was the emphasis last year, for a week they did emphasis patrol and whatever, 80% of the people pulled over Washington. That's just a fact. So I'll vote for these, but I'm not happy about it.
Leslie, go ahead.
I'm okay with them for this season, and then depending on what transpires this season, because I am of utmost hopeful that Washington will open back up and we won't see such influx of Washington residents, or they love us so much they don't care if their state is open and they're coming back anyway. So if that's the case, then I think we need to revisit this sooner than later. So if you can take that back, and we'll have a review at the end of the season and see, did this accomplish what it needed to accomplish, and that is to pay for the services that the out-of-staters are actually using. So I'm good with it.
Okay, Nick, I've got this is Chris. I have a question.
Yes, sir.
I lost it in part. Okay, so the out-of-state is $100. Where, oh, I'm
It
sorry.
is.
Yeah, what was the fee prior? What was it? Go ahead.
The fee as today for an out-of-state pass is $50.
Okay, so we doubled it. Okay, fine. How frequently can these be reviewed? Are we bound by the resolution, or can we review them at any time?
The board can review these anytime they wish.
Okay, fair enough. So,
That's good.
okay, I guess I'm okay. Truthfully, if you had gone to 200 for out of state, I'd have been fine with that.
Yep.
Maybe even 3. The only reason I say that is I heard the same complaints. People saying, goodness gracious, I pay taxes and I can't use my waterways. But I think for starters, I would have to agree with Leslie. Let's go with this and we'll just play it by ear. So good job, everyone.
All right, then
Go right ahead.
I move we approve Resolution 2020-91, which is the adoption of Kootenai County Waterways Ordinance and the increase of fees for parks and waterways.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan.
Aye.
Chairman Philios.
Aye, and so public hearing resolution 2020 excuse me, 91 is approved as proposed. Moving on to item 4, Kootenai County Waterways Facility Use Restrictions, resolution 2020-100, Parks and Waterways. Nick?
Yes, again, Nick Snyder for the record. Commissioners, this is really just some housekeeping with our waterways ordinance in terms of clarifying some rules at our facilities. They are as follows in this resolution. Hauser Park would be closed at 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. It would limit it would actually require no pets in the swim area at Carlin Bay. It would close McGuire Park from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. And this would be countywide. The next one, and that is it would prohibit single vehicles from parking in spaces marked with vehicles with boat trailers only. Also extends to camp trailers, horse trailers, etc. So again, some housekeeping, but important housekeeping items that are worthy of your adoption today.
Okay.
Question, Nick. The reason for the time difference, I'm assuming, because you have more fishermen at Hauser Park and McGuire Park does not have the same use?
Yeah, exactly, Commissioner. Hauser Park is a popular spot with anglers, so we want to make sure they have access there. And McGuire Park, as you might recall, sits right between two residential homes. So it just makes sense to let people recreate, but make sure the neighbors can enjoy some peace and quiet during those hours.
Gotcha.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Motion?
I move we approve Resolution 2020-100, which is the county waterways facility use restrictions.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan,
Aye.
Chairman Philios.
Aye, and the motion is approved. Moving on to item 5, intergovernmental agreement with the U.S. Marshals Service for Prisoner Operations Division, U.S. Department of Justice, and our jail, KCSO.
Lieutenant Hutchison?
Good afternoon, Commissioners. We have a new contract with the U.S. Marshal Service. Sheriff Wolfinger requested that we update all of our contracts before the new sheriff come on board. Our old contract was very old and drew a rate of $53 a day per prisoner housed in our facility. We don't see a lot of traffic from U.S. Marshal inmates. We're averaging about 80 inmate days a month right now from them. This contract simply updates the rate to $93 a day opposed to the current $53.
Well, that's pretty substantial.
And I'm sorry, you said 80 days a year is what we're
No,
looking
per
at?
month, I think.
Per
you said.
month?
Right, but,
Did you say 80 man days per month?
About 2.5 inmates per day is what we have. for
Oh,
80
okay.
Inmate days.
Oh, two
Okay.
and a half. Okay.
right.
All right, fair enough. That's quite an increase. I'm not complaining.
No, I'm not complaining.
Okay.
The old contract was very outdated, so it was in need of an update.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Motion.
So this one, I think that the board approves the sheriff to sign this document.
Okay, so then the motion would state as such, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to, Bill, you want to take that motion? We're authorizing the sheriff.
Sure,
to
I
sign.
move that we authorize the sheriff to sign the intergovernmental agreement with the U.S. Marshals Service.
Second?
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan,
Aye.
Chairman Philios.
Aye, and the motion is carried. Item number 6, grant application for the Waterways Improvement Fund with Idaho Department of Parks and Rec, KCSO. Is that Lieutenant Higgins?
It is Lieutenant Higgins. So the sheriff's office is looking to repower or looking for a WIF grant through the Idaho Department of Parks and Recreation to repower our sonar boat. We want to put new motors in it, new out drives, throttle control, steering, the whole 9 yards. The total project is $85,356, and we would match that 50% match. So our cut would be $42,678.
Okay, and then a question,
That's about it.
I'm sorry, did you have one?
No, go ahead.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
The sonar, how's our sonar itself doing? I know we're doing the power plant for the sonar boat, but do we have a functioning sonar, I don't know, device?
So the tow fish, what we call the tow fish or the sonar array, is working, but it's only working on one side, and we are still working on finding one that can be used with our system. And once we get that, then we'll get a price. But that price is going to be, we're thinking probably $80,000 or $90,000 roughly. That's just a guesstimate at this time because we'll have to update our software as well.
Okay.
But the biggest thing is we need to repower that boat because it also runs a hydraulics for that tow fish. So if the motors go down in the middle of the lake, we're going to have a tow fish hanging at the bottom of the boat that we won't be able to get back up.
Yeah, we can't have that.
Got it. Okay, fair
All
enough.
right.
So we are looking at replacing the towfish as well, but we still have to find one first, and that's what the struggle is.
Okay.
A question for you, Lieutenant Higgins, it's Chris. Does the sonar device, will that basically search or scan for anything, irrespective of the material of the body? I guess what I'm
Correct. Yeah,
really
it's basically it'll pick up just about anything on the bottom. It bounces off the we've picked up chairs, bicycles, obviously plane parts, bodies, boats.
Fair enough.
Anything you can see on the bottom, it'll pick up.
Fair enough. Thank you. Okay. Motion?
All right, I move that we approve the grant applications for the Waterways Improvement Fund out of Idaho Department of Parks and Recreation for KCSO's repowering of the sonar boat.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan.
Aye.
Chairman Philios.
Aye, and the motion is carried. Item number 7, lease addendum for Party Walsh at the airport. Stephen?
Commissioner Stephen Carroll, for the record, this is actually a lease addendum to adjust the legal description of the lease. There is no cost change, size change, anything. It is just a correction in the lease, the addendum of the description.
Fair enough. Motion. Want to take it?
Yep, I move that we approve the lease addendum with, between Walsh and the airport.
Second?
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan.
Aye.
Chairman Philios.
Aye, and the motion's carried. Item 8 was stricken. Item number 9, change order number 5, Gino Construction for the Armory Remodel Project. Sean Riley for KCSO. Sean?
Good afternoon, Commissioners. This is change order number 5 with Gino for the Armory Remodel Project in the amount of $7,079.06. Pardon me. When the National Guard vacated the building, they apparently didn't use a locksmith to take their cores out. We were not aware of this until we went to recore them, so we have to buy 12 new locks for the inside of the building. We also need to add a 125 amp breaker in the new electrical panel to help handle the HVAC load that we had to replace for the existing one.
Okay, we still looking at the punch list tomorrow?
Yes, we are.
Yay.
Okay. Scheduled completion, Sean? Is it next week?
Tomorrow.
Oh,
We're doing the punch list tomorrow.
tomorrow you're doing the...
They're going to be moving in next week, is my understanding.
Oh, okay. So punch list is usually at the conclusion. Okay, fine. Okay, motion.
Okay, I move we approve change order number 5 with Gino Construction for the Armory Remodel Project.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan.
Aye.
Chairman Philios.
Aye, motion's carried. Item number 10, Public Defense Commission Annual Financial Report for our Public Defender Auditor, Dina Darrow, our Finance Director.
Thanks, Commissioners. Before you, you have the annual 2020 financial report for the Public Defense Commission, separating out actual expenses for the formula grant on page 1 and the workload grant on page 2. So I'll answer any questions. I'm here on behalf of the Public Defender. We've walked through the numbers and tied them back to the general ledger, so we feel comfortable with those numbers. I did send you an updated version
I saw that.
where I hand wrote in the numbers. The form doesn't allow us to make any corrections, so I wanted to make sure that we noted that those numbers don't actually add up so that there's no confusion with the PDC.
Appreciate that.
So those are the 14 items we're looking here. Formula, financial assistance info that you put together, the table that you sent us earlier. Okay. Any questions?
Nope.
Motion.
I move that we approve the FY21 Public Defense Commission Annual Financial Report for the Public Defender's Office.
I'll second.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, and the motion's carried. Thank you, Dina. Item number 11, policy and procedures, procedure revisions, adult misdemeanor probation. Keith.
Good afternoon. Merry Christmas to everybody.
Likewise.
Christmas.
What it is just house cleaning stuff that we reviewed a policy and procedure manual and just updating some things. The nasal Narcan, we did not have a policy, so it's a new policy. We've had people show up under the influence and also going out in the field and finding people. So our officers kind of took it upon themselves to reach out, and what they did is they were actually able to acquire the Narcan from a treatment provider at no cost to the county. Chief Isaacson came in from Kootenai Fire and Rescue and gave us the training on it and stuff, so we're able to administer that. So we have one in the office and one on the officer's vest.
How often in a month do you use that?
We have not used it at all, thank God.
Good.
Thank God we have not used ours, but it's just.
But when you need it?
Yeah, if they get stuck with something or something like that, we just want to be able to make sure they can protect
Absolutely.
themselves. So that's the new Chapter 11. The other policy was the carotid restraint one. The new directive that came out, executive order from Donald Trump, to remove that from our policy and everything else to follow within federal guidelines. So upon reviewing it, that's being removed completely from the policy because we are under the DV grant, which is, so we don't want to violate
Federal
that.
money.
Federal money and stuff, so we don't want to violate that. Another one was we took two sections, combined them into one, and it's just detaining and giving direction to the officers on how to do it. We did have this reviewed, and Mr. Ferguson, thank you very much for your time for this. I greatly appreciate that. And those are the three that I'm asking for to be updated in our policy manual so I can get this out to everybody.
Okay, fair enough. Questions? Motion.
I move we approve the policy and procedure revisions as presented by Adult Misdemeanor Probation.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan.
Aye.
Aye, and the motion's carried. Thank you, Keith.
Thank you. Merry Christmas, and also to all the people at BOC, Merry Christmas. Thank you for everything.
Merry Christmas to you, Keith. Thanks. And to the group. Okay, resolutions. We can combine items 12 and 13. Resolutions 2020-101 and 2020-102 to classify and destroy records respectively from the volunteer personnel files for the Office of Emergency Management. Rachel?
Yes, Rachel Irish for the record. Yep, we're just cleaning house some very old personnel records that don't need to be around anymore.
Fair enough. Motion?
I move that we approve Resolution 2020-101 and 2020-102 for the classification and destruction of records for volunteer personnel files. I'm trying to read it without my glasses.
Second.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan.
Aye.
Chairman Philios.
Aye, and the motion is carried. Public comment? None? 2:30, meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone.